From the return of fan favorites like 7 of 9 and Q, to the dark parallel reality and time travel, Season 2 promises to be a wild ride for all Star Trek fans. And it's not just the major callbacks that make this season special. The show is filled with Easter eggs that may have escaped your notice, and we're here to point them out. As you all might be aware, the first season brought back the iconic character of Jean-Luc Picard, played by the legendary Patrick Stewart, and left us all wanting more. And the second season picks up right where the first left off, with even more references to classic Trek stories. So grab your Earl Grey tea hot and get ready for a journey through the hidden gems of Star Trek Picard Season 2, as we'll be exploring some of our favorites, like the nods to classic episodes, and the appearance of characters from other Trek series. And who knows, maybe we'll even uncover a clue or two about what's to come. So set phasers to stun and get ready to explore the final frontier of Star Trek Picard Season 2 Easter eggs, as we explore all the Easter eggs from Season 2 of Picard that fans missed.
Please, my friends, choose to live.
You know, when you said I manipulate people,
I'm sorry,
I do.
And the first one is probably the most sought. I mean, we're talking about Picard's auto-destruct gambit. This premiere episode takes us right into the action with a battle aboard a starship. Starfleet officers are rushing through the corridors, with an unseen villain wreaking havoc on the ship's systems. Things are looking pretty bleak, but who's coming to the rescue? None other than the legendary Captain Jean-Luc Picard. But hold on to your phasers, because we've seen this before. The villain is none other than the Borg. And for those of you who have been following the series since the beginning, you'll know that this isn't the first time Picard has had to face them. In fact, he had to order a self-destruct back in Star Trek First Contact, when they infiltrated the Enterprise. What's interesting is that Picard's response to the situation has changed. In First Contact, he adamantly refused to destroy the ship, but this time around, he's much quicker to respond. Looks like he's learned a lesson from a certain former Klingon security chief. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see how this new and improved Picard handles the Borg threat.
Hail the fleet. The Admiral has authorized full control by the Borg Queen. Tell them do not resist.
And as you ponder about that, this next one will blow out your mind. I'm talking about the Bajoran Reckoning tablet. As you might be aware, in the first trailer for the new season, eagle-eyed viewers spotted a major piece of Deep Space Nine lore on Captain Picard's table. That's right, it's the Reckoning tablet. It was smashed to pieces by Captain Sisko after receiving a vision, releasing the villainous Pa-Wraiths locked in a centuries-long war with the Bajoran prophets. Many fans wondered if the appearance of the tablet was just an Easter egg, perhaps a nod to Picard's past friendship with Bajoran officer Ensign Ro, or just a sly nod to Deep Space Nine. But hold on to your tricorders, because the tablet's making a comeback. In the opening episode, Picard is shown studying the tablet in his library, still in pieces. The viewing glass above it suggests that he's been examining it closely, and given its prominent appearance in the scene, we can't help but wonder if it's more than just an Easter egg. Could it be a hint of what's to come?
Understand what this means? Time has been broken.
I will get us home.
You're saying we can undo this nightmare?
Let's go to work.
You can pilot a starship, but you can't drive.
And this next. Imagine standing before a group of incoming cadets. How would you feel? The flags, the silence, name them. Because this is the situation in the new Federation of Planets. Wow. It starts with Picard, our beloved captain, standing in front of a group of new cadets at Starfleet Academy. But what's interesting is the flags behind him. They're not just the usual ones that we've seen before. There are the founding members like the Tellarites and the Vulcans, but we also see the Klingon flag, which makes us wonder if they've finally joined the UFP. Plus, we see the Bajoran flag, which means they could have gained membership after Deep Space Nine. But wait, hold up. The most curious thing is the Ferengi flag. How is it possible that they're already a member of the Federation? Now, if you're wondering, hey, aren't these flags just from the worlds where the cadets are from? Then you're not alone. That may be what's happening here. But if we assume that these are the flags of Federation members, then we can't help but wonder how the Ferengi became part of the UFP so quickly. It's important to remember that the Ferenginar's greed-focused leadership changed when Rom became their Grand Negus at the end of Deep Space Nine. But still, it's fascinating to think that the Ferengi could be a member of the Federation. Maybe the inclusion of the Ferengi flag is a reference to Nog, the young Ferengi who attended the Academy and served aboard the Defiant on Deep Space Nine.
who was no explorer at all. When I was a boy, she would point to the night sky and say, "Look up, Jean-Luc, and let's see what's out there."
And worse still, do you remember the first full Romulan cadet? In a recent episode, Captain Jean-Luc Picard proudly introduces his friend Elnor as the first fully Romulan entrant into Starfleet Academy. Now this is big news, because it suggests that the Academy has admitted other cadets, with at least partial Romulan ancestry in the past. But hold up, Trekkies, this is not the first time that the issue of Romulan heritage has come up in Star Trek. Back in The Next Generation, we met a crewman named Simon Tarses, who was investigated for possibly sabotaging the Enterprise. But get this, his real crime was lying about his parentage, by claiming he was part Vulcan instead of Roman. What a twist. Now, here's where it gets interesting. It was heavily implied that there was a controversy surrounding officers, who carried the blood of a Federation enemy. And as we all know, Romulans have been a longtime enemy of the Federation, so it remains to be seen if Elnor will face any issues at the Academy due to his race. But hey, we've got faith in Captain Picard's gift to Elnor, a book written by Spock.
I will cherish it. Thank you for the book, Admiral.
Better get moving, cadet. We ship out in 10.
Commander Massacre, please report to the Excelsior for...
If anyone knows how to navigate tricky political situations, it's the half-human, half-Vulcan first officer of the original Enterprise. We're excited to see how Elnor does at the Academy, and if he'll be able to rise above any challenges that come his way. And this last one will crack your bones. Do you remember the USS Stargazer? So did you notice that Rios has a new ship in the episode? And did you catch the name? It's the USS Stargazer. And yes, that's the same ship that Captain Picard commanded before the Enterprise D. But hold up, didn't it get destroyed by the Ferengi in the battle? Well, apparently, it's been rediscovered and even revamped with some Borg technology. That's right. 7 of 9 points out that this new Stargazer is part of a new class of starships that use Borg tech, taken from the reclaimed cube in Season 1. And if you're a Voyager fan, you'll remember that Janeway and 7 of 9 were always using ex-Borg tech to boost their systems. It looks like Starfleet has followed suit after the Borg Reclamation Project. It's always cool to see these little connections and callbacks to previous Star Trek shows. And while it's not exactly an Easter egg since it's mentioned in the episode, it's still a nice nod to Picard's past and the Star Trek lore. Plus, the 4 nacelle configuration is just plain cool. What do you think of the new Stargazer and its Borg upgrades? As always, live long and prosper. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time. Cheers!